I have recently read about concerns of using grounding mats in a high EMF environment. Any thoughts on that? The jury's out on a lot of that sort of stuff. The jury's out. There's a lot of, Jack Kruse talks about it, but I've actually haven't been able to find any data showing, backing up what he said or many other people in that space. So it's very unclear. Some people claim, look, you can still get negative ions at the end of the day. Yes, you may get some dirty, but the majority of times you get, the most of the stuff is you will still get electrons. So if you're getting more electrons, you can stabilize tissue. What is an antioxidant? It's electron doning. So, it plays a big role. So if you're getting more electrons, if you can lower the threshold of protons, you will reduce proton tunneling with more electrons, which is important for, especially for DNA stability. I'm not going to go into quantum biology. That would take an hour to explain it all. That'll be for another video at some stage. But when it comes to like EMFs and stuff like that, I don't really, your electrical wiring is full of that, and we've had it for years and all that. I'm more worried about the circadian rhythms and the mismatches and stuff like that, blue light, and because before we had incandescent lights which didn't have much of a blue light in them, and so they were less problematic. Now with all the LEDs and all that, that's the biggest problem. Some countries have actually changed their street lights to amber, which reduces the blue light exposure of people at night. I think parts of Germany have, and a few other parts of the world do use amber lights, which is much nicer and better for circadian rhythms for their population. So that's a positive thing. I don't really worry about too much. And if you're worried, just get a spike. Stick a spike outside and connect it to the spike and ground it yourself. And don't put it through the electrical wiring if you've got concerns about that. If you've got old wiring, some people have concerns. I have less concerns about that. I'm more into the situation. We're bathed in electromagnetic fields. This computer has non-native EMFs around it, and the wavelengths are very, are not as problematic. I mean, we're talking about the sun produces terawatt levels, does far more damage to cells and to the DNA. And our body still, with glutathione and the superoxide dismutase and catalase, can deal with those things, let alone the much weaker levels from EMFs. They're a non-issue. I've actually done a video with Bart Kay, and it's on his Odyssey channel, where I did it on 5G, and I covered that and actually showed the research on heat shock proteins and everything. That's oxidative stress. Zilch. There's nada, nothing. Okay? These are true experiments, not conjecture or opinions of people. And I challenge anyone to come up with research showing me mechanistic proof. They won't find it because I looked. So, and especially the sun is far more damaging, and our bodies can cope with that. So it's absolute nonsense. The problem really is with circadian rhythms, the blue light. The non-native EMFs are, the photonic energy coming from them is in a number of wavelengths and in a number of frequencies. Some of those are frequencies that should be in the daytime, not at night. That's a problem, because we do have melanopsin receptors on our skin. Now, the primary ones that create the signal modulation are in our eyes. That's where we have the biggest concentration of melanopsin, and it's DHA dependent as well. So, so if you get too much blue light throughout the night as well and all that, you can lower your DHA levels in the eyes, and that can affect your melanopsin and also affect your circadian signaling. That's why I say to people, when you wake up, don't look at your screens. Walk out. Modulate yourself with the earth, with that light, that early light. Then at midday, do the same thing. Go outdoors, modulate us in. Tell your body it's midday. In the evening, do the same thing. And then wear this sort of stuff to keep the blue light down so you can actually raise your melatonin, lower your cortisol naturally, and get the body to work properly. You can use a bit of taurine in the evening to amplify, to lower the cortisol levels and amplify because we live in stressful environments. So there is other factors that can raise cortisol beyond blue light. But blue light is a big one at night, and screens are causing a lot of it. So that affects people's sleep as well. So these are, it's a bit more, so don't really worry too much about the grounding mats and all that sort of nonsense that people are making a big fuss about nothing. And I say to them, okay, show me where the issue is on the EMF side. I'll accept the blue light signaling, but that's everything. Your wiring in your home, your computer, your phone, they all produce that sort of, that sort of stuff. So, you might as well go bush and take that all out of your life if you're concerned. Don't concern yourself about one thing, especially something like that that's pulling up negative ions, basically electrons, and actually providing you like a free, cheap source of antioxidant for your body to stabilize tissue and increase your redox potential of your mitochondria. Yes, improve your energy production in your mitochondria, but with more electrons. Wonderful stuff. Yes. And then use appropriately for energy production, force through the ATPase, force the actual protons to do that sort of stuff, and not tunnel through tissue into other areas where they shouldn't go. Because that's the problem when you get a proton gradient, which is not being managed properly within the mitochondria. But anyway, I don't want to go down that deep rabbit hole about, cancer and protons and stuff like that. That's and the effects on the DNA. That's, tunneling. Yes. You could read up on tunneling. Transistors do it as well. Yes, not only humans.